Oh, right. It's time for episode 38 of Adventures in Inbetweening with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, episode 103. I better put Spider Bites and Donatello away so we can go watch it. All right, toys are put away. Let's have a look at episode 103. So we've got the Normans. You saw the storyboards there. All these characters are called Norman. Every one of them is the same model, and they're all Krang droids. They all act the same. They all talk funny. And you can see here, we've got the secondary on the bottom there. It had some proxy effects with guns, just shooting. So we didn't really know how the lasers were going to look. We needed something there. You can see what's going on. First the gun recoils back, then the body, then the head. Got some really cool laser designs going on here. Lots of free lighting effects going on. And 3D, that's something that happens. You don't have to draw them. Here's the next scene. You can see we've got the storyboards, primary and secondary. Similar thing, just gets broken down more in every stage. And once we have that gunfire, it's always the same thing. Body back, or sorry, gun back, then body, then head.
Well, there's a spider on you, too. Oh, there is. Come here!
Lots of good action, but some funny acting in this one, too. You can see the boards there. Some terrific drawings in these boards. One thing that we always keep in mind is how much motion blur there's going to be. So whenever we have a fast action, we're always going to get some blur there. So we got to make sure that the silhouette is nice and clear to compensate for that. See Mikey's hand coming forward there, dragging the finger, and then overshooting and settling it up. This here with Donatello before he turns around, bring his head down, his shoulders up, get some contrast there. And Donnie's elbows coming up here as he's looking around for the spider. Here comes Mikey's hands, extending those fingers. Again, getting maximum silhouette here because we know it's going to be somewhat blurred out. Pushing Donnie down, there goes the blur, there goes the tassels trailing behind, there goes Mikey's tassels, leg trailing behind, get that strong silhouette, offset those legs. Here's how it looked in secondary. And here, this is a funny thing too. So these little bits of stars and whatnot flying away, those are all assets that we actually had in Maya. So we could animate those and it wasn't left to effects. It was for the animators. It's very cool. All right, here's the star of the show, Spider Bites, voiced by Lewis Black. You can see, even though he's just a big sphere, we're able to get terrific shapes out of him. Getting those cheeks pushing out there. You got those nice silhouettes with the teeth. And when he's leaning back and when he's going to open his mouth. So one thing about his mouth, I mean, his mouth takes up his whole body. And it's not just the lower jaw going down. The top of the mouth opens up as well. So we're able to get a ton of contrast on frames like that, where he's going to go blah, and he's going to shoot his acid venom. That all just comes out in one frame. And here we had a big camera push back, just 3 frames. And we had 3 frames of camera push in at the beginning, you can see in secondary there, and then 3 frames to go back. These legs on the head legs, were always good for adding in some extra overlap and, again, making the silhouettes even stronger. Here we got the storyboards on the bottom left, primary in the middle, secondary on the right. This is where Spider Bites is flipping around and using those head legs to gain momentum and get ahead of the turtles. Now these, for anyone who's worked in 3D, these head legs were all FK. So we didn't have any way to pin them to the ground. So all of this here where it looks like they're on the ground, it all had to be done frame by frame, and really, it took a little bit of time to make it all work. And then just, again, it gave you really good options for silhouettes and offsetting each of them as they're going off screen. All right, I remember this was a big scene. Here we've got the storyboards, primary bottom left, secondary bottom right. They're playing at just 1/4 speed right now. You can see there's a lot of terrific drawings. Again, really strong silhouettes, selling a lot of it for us. The timing is all worked out in the storyboards as well. There was just, we had so much to work with. We were really set up for success. This was my first Turtles episode, 103, and I'd been working in 3D about 2 years after 15 years working in 2D. So this was, it was the perfect timing for me to get into something more complicated like this. So here again, we got Spider Bites with those cheeks pushing out. He's gonna open his mouth, get ready for the venom. The top and the bottom jaw is gonna open up. Boom, all in one frame there. There goes the venom. And again, really nice blur on this. We just had a single asset to work with. Those head legs are gonna continue moving up for some overlap. His head's gonna move forward. Legs are gonna follow. Again, and just keeping a nice silhouette with those arms. Spider Bites. It was one of the first toys I got from this show, and I was really happy to get that one because I had so much fun on this episode. So here comes Donnie coming in, dragging that staff behind him. Boom, one frame, swinging it around. You can see we had some blur on there. Again, that was something that we could use. The animators had access to that blur image plane in a way, or a plane with a texture on it, I guess, in 3D, in Maya. So that was really useful for us to be able to use those. So Spider Bites is following through after being hit here. And then after the body stops, the head legs can keep going. Got lots of overlap there. Spider Bites is starting to turn around. Those legs are all dragging behind. Look at the way that we're able to play with Donnie's staff again. We're able to stretch it out, then we're able to spin it around. Here comes the legs trailing towards Donnie, not quite touching him, keeping a clear silhouette. Now Donnie's gonna, and here, so the legs are coming up. Donnie's gonna go from bent leg to straight leg. Then he's gonna stretch out that staff, start swinging it forward. We bend the staff. Boom, it's gonna hit on that one frame. We've got that blur there. And Spider Bites gets a head leg right in the way. And then Donnie's staff's completely straight. So at that point, Donnie's done a couple attacks. He's starting to say, oh, I don't know about this. Maybe I should get out of here. Spider Bites is rearing back. He's ready to spit one of his big venom acid blobs. So Donnie's thinking, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Big antic down for Donnie. Big jump off. There goes the acid. Donnie's looking behind, sees that he made it out of the way, back to safety. Stretch out that leading leg so he can land and run. And he's going to go off screen to screen left. And just as he's going off, the staff is leaving. Leo's going to come in on screen right. So it's handing off the ball. Look over here, then look over here. Now Spider Bites is also going to turn to see Leo here. Leo's coming in with the two swords, both poised to strike. The lower sword's going to strike first. Again, we can put in that geo in there to show the trail. And then Leo's going to extend that left leg, screen left leg, stretch out that sword. Here comes the sword, boom, there's the trail. Spider Bite's going to block it with two of his head legs. And then at the frame after, then Spider Bite's head, or yeah, his entire head, his entire body, I should say, is going to follow through from that block. Leo's coming back looking for another attack. He's going to jump forward now. Spider Bites doesn't have his mouth open enough to bite Leo and not closed enough to fire some acid, so he's got to dodge out of the way. And in this case here, it was all just doing it on one frame. And I was considering, do we want to have Leo strike first, or do we want to have Spider Bite dodging first? But on both of these strikes, I really like the idea, and I was talking about this in my Promare video as well, where one thing's happening and the other thing's happening at the same time. We don't want to do that too often, but it does give us this sense of hyper speed when we do that. So now Spider Bites is thinking, okay, I'm going to bite Leo. Opens the mouth really, really big. Leo's backing up. And look at the asymmetry we can get on Spider Bite's mouth here. Again, he was a sphere, but he was a very wieldy sphere. Lots of ability to deform him. And then close that mouth on one frame. Now he's getting ready to bite again. Here comes a barrel, and that barrel is just the perfect size to get into Spider Bite's mouth. Getting those hands in strong silhouette. Boom, there comes that barrel into the mouth. Top and bottom jaws are going to close and then overshoot and settle up. Now Spider Bites is going to crush that barrel. We had two different barrel assets. We had a whole barrel and then a crushed one. So we just had to scale the one down until it pops into the other. And that's Spider Bites eating the barrel. Now he's going to, and we had this terrific deformation. Again, you could deform the top of the head and the bottom of the head and get some nice overlap there and offset. And yeah, that's just a quick breakdown of 20 seconds of animation from episode 103 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you next time.